Something extraordinary is happening in Cincinnati, and Alex Eala hasn't even played a single point yet. The moment the Cincinnati Open announced Eala's first-round path, Filipino tennis fans reacted with a level of excitement that caught attention across the tournament. Tickets were suddenly in high demand, supporters began making plans to attend, and the question quickly became impossible to ignore: has the Alex Eala effect officially reached Cincinnati? At the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio, the North American hardcourt season is heating up. The world's biggest stars have arrived, the draw is stacked, and expectations are enormous. But alongside the established champions, one name is generating a different kind of energy: Alex Eala. Fresh off the biggest breakthrough of her career, the Filipina star is no longer simply a promising young player trying to make her mark. She is becoming a genuine attraction wherever she goes. And Cincinnati may be the latest place to witness it. Just weeks ago, thousands of Filipino supporters packed the stands in Toronto to watch their favorite player. The demand surrounding Eala became so intense that tournament organizers were forced to move one of her matches to the much larger center court. That was Toronto. Now, the same passionate fanbase is turning its attention towards Cincinnati. Filipino supporters across the United States have been rallying behind Eala, with fans traveling from Ohio and surrounding states, and supporters willing to travel much farther simply for the opportunity to see her compete. For a tournament filled with household names, that kind of attention is impossible to ignore. And the timing could not be better. Eala arrives in Cincinnati following a summer that has completely transformed her career trajectory. At the Mubadala City DC Open in Washington, she produced the biggest result of her career, defeating world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the final to capture her first WTA Tour singles title. That victory wasn't just another tournament win, it was a statement. Eala had already shown flashes of brilliance against elite competition, but beating Pegula in a WTA final demonstrated that she could perform under the brightest possible spotlight. Then came Toronto. The National Bank Open, another WTA 1000 event. Eala continued her incredible run by reaching the fourth round. It was the deepest WTA 1000 singles run of her career and another major boost to her ranking and reputation. But Toronto also demonstrated something that statistics cannot fully measure. Her audience is growing at an extraordinary speed. Fans weren't simply watching Eala. They were traveling to see her. They were buying tickets specifically because she was playing. They were filling the stands with Filipino flags, chants, and overwhelming support. That is why Cincinnati feels so significant. The Eala phenomenon is no longer confined to the Philippines. It is spreading across North America. And the tennis world has started noticing. Former British number 1 Greg Rusedski has drawn comparisons between Eala's growing popularity and the kind of global attention once generated by Serena Williams. Meanwhile, former world number 1 Andy Roddick has publicly backed Eala and highlighted what her growing audience could mean for tennis. The bigger story is not simply that Eala has Filipino fans, it is that she appears to be bringing new fans into the sport itself. That could be one of her most important contributions. For many supporters, watching Eala is about more than the final score. It is about seeing a Filipina athlete compete against the best players in the world, carrying enormous national pride onto one of tennis's biggest stages. And Cincinnati could provide another chapter in that story. But there is another major development that makes this tournament even more important. Eala enters Cincinnati as the number 17 seed. That is a massive milestone that represents the highest seeding of her career at a WTA 1000 event and reflects just how dramatically her ranking has changed in recent months. Not long ago, Eala was fighting to establish herself among the world's top players. Now, she is seated ahead of dozens of elite competitors. Her career-high ranking of number 20 has completely changed her position inside the tournament draw. And the number 17 seed comes with an immediate advantage: a first-round BYN the 96-player singles draw. The top 32 seeds receive buys, meaning Eala will begin her Cincinnati campaign in the second round. That gives her additional time to recover, prepare, and adjust to the conditions before stepping onto the court. Her potential opening opponent will emerge from the match between Romania's Elena Gabriela Ruse and Poland's Magdalena Frech. But regardless of who stands across the net, the challenge will be enormous. Cincinnati features one of the strongest fields on the WTA calendar. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka is there. Elena Rybakina is there. Jessica Pegula is there. Coco Gauff is there. Iga Swiatek is there. And now Alex Eala enters the tournament not as an unknown prospect, but as the number 17 seed. That distinction matters, because opponents are no longer simply preparing for a young player with potential. They are preparing for someone who has already beaten a world number 3 in a final, reached the fourth round of a WTA 1000 tournament, climbed to a career-high ranking, and demonstrated that she belongs on the biggest stages. There is also an intriguing storyline surrounding Eala's physical condition. Her Toronto campaign ended after a difficult loss to Belinda Bencic, following an injury scare that affected her movement and performance. Now she has an opportunity to reset. The first round bye could be particularly valuable because it provides additional recovery and preparation time before she begins another demanding WTA 1000 campaign. And if Eala can stay healthy, the draw presents another opportunity to make a deep run. But perhaps the biggest story in Cincinnati won't be about rankings, seeds, or potential opponents. It will be about the crowd. Because every tournament Eala enters seems to produce the same question: how many people will show up for Alex Eala? Toronto gave us one answer. Cincinnati may give us another. The excitement surrounding her has reached a point where her matches are becoming events within the event. Fans arrive early. Flags appear in the stands. Supporters travel across states. And an increasingly large Filipino audience follows every point. That kind of atmosphere can transform a tennis match. For Eala, it can also become a source of energy. She has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to embrace pressure rather than run from it. Her confidence, competitive personality, and fearless style have made her increasingly compelling to watch. And now the stakes are higher than ever. The number 17 seed is more than a ranking position. It is evidence of how far she has come. The Washington title proved she could win. Toronto proved she could go deep at a WTA 1000, her ranking proved she could rise. And Cincinnati offers her the chance to prove that this isn't a temporary hot streak. This is a new level. This is the next stage of Alex Eala's career. The tournament is packed with established champions, former world number ones, Grand Slam winners, and the biggest stars in women's tennis. Yet before Eala even hits her first ball, her fans are already making noise. That may be the most remarkable part of this entire story. The Eala effect is arriving in Cincinnati before Eala does her damage on the court. And if the crowd's ticket demand and international attention are any indication, this tournament could become another defining moment in the rapid rise of the Filipino star. The question is no longer whether Alex Eala can attract attention. She already has. The real question is, how far can she take it? Because Cincinnati isn't simply another tournament on Eala's schedule. It is another test of whether the young Filipino star can turn an extraordinary summer into the beginning of something much bigger. And with a first round bye, a career-high ranking, a growing army of supporters, and the world's best players waiting in the draw, the stage is set. Alex Eala has arrived in Cincinnati. Now everyone is watching. Hashtag the Eala effect explodes in Cincinnati. The ticket rush that shocked tennis Alex Eala's number 17 seeding at the Cincinnati Open is already a historic milestone, but the biggest story surrounding the Filipino star may not even be happening on the court. It is happening in the stands. Before Eala has played a single competitive point in Cincinnati, her growing army of supporters is already making waves. Ticket demand surrounding her matches has reportedly reached a level that caught the attention of tournament officials and experienced tennis professionals alike. And when someone who has spent years working around elite tennis describes the reaction as unbelievable, people start paying attention. Cincinnati Open Tournament director Bob Moran has witnessed some of the biggest names in tennis compete at the Linder Family Tennis Center. He has seen champions, superstars, rising prodigies, and global icons attract huge crowds. Yet the response surrounding Alex Eala has apparently been different. The intensity of Filipino support has become impossible to overlook. This isn't simply about selling more tickets. It is about what those ticket sales represent. A passionate international fanbase is following one player from tournament to tournament, turning her matches into events that extend far beyond the tennis court. And Cincinnati is now experiencing that phenomenon firsthand. For tournament organizers, that creates an unusual situation. They aren't just preparing for another WTA 1000 event featuring the world's best players. They are preparing for the possibility that one particular player could generate enormous demand wherever she plays. That means court assignments matter. Seating capacity matters. Security, merchandise, concessions, transportation, and crowd management can all become bigger considerations when thousands of additional fans are determined to watch one player. And that is exactly what makes the Eala story so fascinating. Her popularity isn't being built solely on marketing. It is being built through performance, through personality, through history, and through a community that has embraced her as a symbol of Filipino excellence. Just weeks ago in Toronto, the same phenomenon became impossible to ignore. Eala's matches generated extraordinary interest, with reports of more than 5,000 ticket requests surrounding one of her appearances. Tournament officials eventually moved her match to a much larger court because demand was simply too high. The result? Packed stands, Filipino flags, loud chants, and an atmosphere that made it feel like Eala was playing a home tournament thousands of miles away from the Philippines. Now that same energy is following her to Cincinnati. And there is something even more remarkable about this moment. Eala isn't arriving as the same player who entered the North American hardcourt swing. She is arriving as a top 20 player and WTA champion. Her confidence has grown. Her ranking has exploded, and her belief that she belongs among the world's best has become increasingly difficult to question. But behind all the excitement is another important storyline: recovery. Eala has endured an exhausting stretch of tennis. Across Washington and Toronto, she played approximately 8 matches in around 12 days, facing increasingly difficult opponents while dealing with the physical demands of a brutal summer schedule. That kind of workload can test even experienced professionals. So, after her Toronto campaign, Eala knew she needed something that every elite athlete eventually learns to value: rest. Rather than immediately rushing back into intense preparation, she planned to take a couple of days away from tennis to recover physically and mentally. The goal wasn't to disappear from the sport, it was to reset. Eala wanted time with friends, time to have fun, and time to step away from the pressure before returning to competition. That short break could prove extremely important. Because Cincinnati isn't just another tournament, it is the final major test before the US Open. And the US Open begins on August 30th in New York. For Eala, the timing is crucial. She has already achieved more than many expected during this North American hardcourt swing, but she knows the biggest opportunities and the biggest challenges are still ahead. Her approach is simple: recover, learn, improve, repeat. The minor ankle issue she experienced in Toronto also made physical management even more important. Eala reassured fans that she was healthy and grateful to be in good condition, emphasizing that her health remains a priority. That mindset could make a major difference. Because talent alone doesn't carry a player through an entire season. The ability to manage fatigue, recover properly, learn from difficult matches, and stay mentally fresh can be just as important. And Eala appears to understand that. She has also credited her coach, Joan Bosch, for helping her navigate the demanding world of professional tennis. Together, they are managing a career that is suddenly moving at remarkable speed. Think about how quickly Eala's story has changed. She first picked up a tennis racket at just 4 years old. In 2022, she became the first Filipino player to win a junior Grand Slam singles title, announcing herself as a player capable of making history. Then came the breakthrough on the professional stage. In March 2025, Eala stunned the tennis world with her run to the Miami Open semifinals, defeating 3 Grand Slam champions along the way, including Iga Swiatek. That wasn't supposed to be the end of the story, it was the beginning. Her performances continued to improve. Her ranking climbed. Her confidence grew. And in 2026, the historic milestones kept coming. She became the first Filipina to win a Grand Slam singles main draw match at the US Open, adding another landmark to a career already filled with firsts. Then came Washington. Against world number 3 Jessica Pegula, Eala produced one of the biggest victories of her career and captured her first WTA Tour singles title. Suddenly, she wasn't just a promising young player. She was a champion. And then Toronto happened. Another deep WTA 1000 run. Another huge audience. Another demonstration that Eala could compete against elite opposition. Her ranking surged to a career-high number 20, and now she enters Cincinnati as the number 17 seed. That is an extraordinary transformation. But perhaps the most important part of Eala's rise is what happens away from the scoreboard. She is bringing people into tennis. Fans who may not have previously followed the WTA are tuning in because Alex Eala is playing. Families are attending matches. Filipino communities are organizing around tournaments. Supporters are traveling across states and even across the country. Her matches have become gatherings. They have become celebrations of Filipino pride. And that is why the comments from tournament officials and fellow professionals matter. The attention isn't coming only from fans. Players are noticing too. Danielle Collins has praised Eala's character and the way she carries herself, highlighting qualities beyond her tennis ability. That is significant because superstar athletes are rarely defined by performance alone. The players who become truly marketable have something else: a connection, a personality, a story people want to follow. Eala has all three. She has the historic journey. She has the fearless tennis. And she has a passionate audience that feels personally invested in her success. That combination is powerful. And it explains why the Cincinnati ticket rush matters so much. It represents something bigger than one tournament. It suggests that Eala is becoming a genuine global sports personality. Her influence is expanding beyond the Philippines and beyond traditional tennis audiences. She is showing what can happen when elite athletic talent connects with a passionate international community. And now Cincinnati has become the latest stage for that phenomenon. The tournament already features some of the biggest stars in women's tennis: Aryna Sabalenka, Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula, Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek. Yet Eala's presence is creating a different kind of excitement. She isn't simply another name in a stacked draw. She is a storyline. She is a destination. She is a reason for fans to buy tickets. And that may be the most powerful sign of how far she has come. There was a time when Eala was fighting simply to earn recognition. Now tournaments are dealing with the consequences of her popularity. Her matches can influence crowd sizes. Her presence can generate additional media attention. And her supporters can change the atmosphere inside an arena. That is the Eala effect, and it is growing. With her career prize money approaching the multi-million-dollar mark and partnerships connected with major brands such as Nike, Babolat, and Globe Telecom, her influence is expanding both on and off the court. But the money, endorsements, rankings, and statistics only tell part of the story. The real story is the connection that a young Filipina athlete has captured the imagination of millions of people around the world. She has given Filipino fans a player to rally behind. She has inspired young athletes who can now see a path they may never have imagined before. And she has shown the tennis world that extraordinary talent can come from anywhere. Now, Cincinnati becomes the next test. Can Eala turn the incredible support into another deep tournament run? Can she recover from the demanding schedule? Can she handle the pressure of being one of the most talked about players in the draw? And most importantly, can she continue the momentum that has transformed her career in just a matter of months? The answers are coming soon. But one thing is already clear. Alex Eala is no longer simply a rising tennis player. She has become a movement. And in Cincinnati, the world is about to find out just how powerful that movement has become.